I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oops, the podcast. I am Giulio. I'm joined by Francis. Francis, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Good, man. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing good. Shout out to everybody listening, whether you're in Canberra or Kansas City.
Where's Canberra?
Australia.
Oh, how do you spell that? It's
spelled C-A-N, but since they rhymed, I figured that would still be a nice...
Canberra, did you say?
Canberra.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Canberra.
Cool. I'm down for that. By the way, I always thought a wombat was some sort of bat type creature.
It's a mammal, right?
It's not. Yeah, it's a four-legged dogger type thing.
Dogger.
It's like more of a dog.
I hear that in Australia they have a bunch of...
It's not a dog. Excuse me. It looks more like a groundhog.
It looks sort of like a fucking, badger,
little small bear,
beaver,
badgery type thing. Wombat.
Type of little guy. Australia supposedly has like a bunch of species that only exist in Australia, which is such an interesting thing. Have you ever been there?
I have.
How was it?
It was fun. Great people.
That's what everybody says. The people there are the best.
It's almost as if all the people I met when I was there that I have followed on Instagram over the years, because it's been about 4 or 5 years since I was there, I have to unfollow them because all the photos they post are so happy that it just makes me unhappy, especially in COVID. Dude, they are back. They're at it, you know?
Yeah.
Full bore, life, dead ahead.
Yeah,
Let's go.
They nailed it over there.
Except, if they get so much as one COVID case,
they shut
the whole city down
it's
again.
Crazy.
And I don't know if that's better because they say, the reports I've read are people saying, is this what it's going to be like? Just, you go back into hiding and then you come out slowly and readjust and all of a sudden life is full throttle again. And then whoops, turn off the lights again. We're going back inside.
Right.
To go in and out of that, I don't know. I mean,
got to get those fucking
yeah,
those scenes.
The scenes,
Get
baby.
Those fucking scenes,
the
dude.
Scenes.
One thing about Australia that I imagine is the case or whatever. It's really nice going anywhere where they just speak your language, where the native language is the same language you speak. It just makes things much, much easier.
Yes, but it also makes it feel less unusual.
True. Yeah. It's less of an adventure.
Less of an adventure. There's something that makes you feel like you're getting your money's worth when you hear people speaking a different language.
So, dude, I bought these. Did I talk about this? Yeah, I bought these Airpods that translate for you. So,
No.
like, you speak into it, and then your phone speaks what you're saying in the language that you want it to.
You have to buy specific AirPods for that feature?
Yeah. No. It's that's the whole point of them. They're not like AirPods. They're some other language thing. But I mean, they're sick. Assuming that your phone is working wherever you are, which at this point, if you have Verizon, for example, most places your phone will work.
Yes.
It's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like underratedly convenient. Like I remember when I was detained in fucking Russia, I was a pain in the ass to talk to the people. If I had to pee, I was like, can I pee? They don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like if I had a thing, it could be like, and they'd be like,
and that would work.
Yes, it would work.
That's pretty good.
I was using Google Translate for shit like that.
Because a lot of the time, Google Translate, at least when I was tutoring kids, they would use that to do their French homework and it would just be dead wrong.
It just doesn't fully get the job
done. It doesn't do it the right way. It does it in a way that's not, it's too robotic.
Right.
It's not correct.
Right. It doesn't take into account colloquial speech.
Right.
Fucking interesting, man.
The water in our building, we're in our second week of them shutting off the water from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m.
Dude, in a work from home era, like that's the most like tone deaf water outage time.
It's hard to overstate how brutal that is.
You got to go to the outhouse, dude.
You take running water for granted, but water, almost probably more than Wi-Fi, is, and I would not have said that until this happened, is the most important thing to have going in your house.
That's crazy.
Think about this. This is what our lives have looked like. They're doing construction out on the street. And first of all, you go out there, we have no idea what they're doing. All it says, they just posted signs that say we're improving the infrastructure.
There's men in the street.
There's
outside.
men tearing up the street, and then they're in there digging around, looking around. But you can't help but notice a lot of the members of this construction crew fucking around on their phones, taking long lunch breaks, cigarette breaks, and when their lackadaisical approach to work means that you have to stay living in your own shit fumes longer, you take it personally.
Right.
And I'll
Dude,
explain
totally.
what I mean by that.
So are you just like going to the bathroom and leaving it there?
We have to.
That's
We don't have a
nuts.
choice.
That's crazy.
From 8 a.m. until 4 p.m., if you poop, you can't flush the toilet.
Dude, it's crazy to live like that in this building. That's just like you guys are just living this fucking.
Isn't that so
so fucking
antithetical to the fact that
terrible.
our ceiling height is at odds with the fact that we have outdoor plumbing?
You're just dude. You're slumming it. That's fucking crazy.
And we've developed a sort of an unspoken agreement or understanding, which, you know, if you close a bathroom door, that bathroom is KIA for the day.
That's
Killed in action.
That's crazy.
Don't go in. You won't like what you find.
Damn,
But
bro.
God forbid one of us has to take a dump more than once per day. You're going on top. You're layering. I haven't had to do it. It hasn't happened yet, but I am just waiting for a day of, you know, a multi pooper, because
Jesus.
you do get one flush,
Oh yeah.
but usually that happens in the mornings. And then what happens is it'll refill, but you can't flush it again.
Gotcha.
And I know that people listening are going to say, well, you should bring water. You should fill up water so that you can fill the tank and then you'll get multiple flushes. But the reality is we don't think that far ahead. And we haven't learned that lesson yet. I have now,
Water buckets.
dude, talking
Fuck
about
that.
the hand soap and the lotion again. I've soaped up my hands only to remember that because you walk in the house, COVID has taught us to wash our hands immediately. You soap up your hands, and then only then do you remember that the water's not running. And I've had to go into the fridge and pull out lemon flavored spin drifts
Whoa.
to
and
use
your
to
hands
wash
with
the
that.
soap off my hands. I will admit, it is the most cleansing feeling to use a sparkling lemon flavored water to wash your hands, but it's so wasteful. Those are delicious.
Dude, that sucks. That really sucks. You're gonna have to get fucking water buckets. Dude.
Yeah,
Jesus.
you can't do laundry during the day. Our cleaning lady came and she was fucked. You can't. What else? There's no running water for washing your hands. You can't do the dishes. You can't run the dishwasher, and it's just insane. It's insanely disruptive, especially when you're working from home.
And like, as if the sounds of construction weren't bad enough, like this just makes it even worse. Like, there's construction outside of my window for the past 4 years, and at 8 a.m. I hear hello, hello, and then I hear, and it just kind of like, and it's not consistent enough to be tolerable.
Yeah.
You don't get used to it, and it just like is like fucking torture.
Right.
It's terrible, dude.
It bumps our whole day forward because you have to wake up before 8 in order to take a shower, which isn't horrible. I like
Right, it's
being
nice to
up
have to
before
be
8.
up. I do too.
But the problem with that is I eat my breakfast earlier, which means my first poop is a lot sooner, which increases the likelihood that I'm going to need a second movement, which we're going to have to leave.
Yeah, man, you're gonna have to take it easy with the high fiber diet.
Dude,
Just
you know me.
ripping it.
You know me. I don't have a choice.
And that is just crazy.
It's funny because our two friends that live on the street are affected by it too. So we have a group chat and we all complain about this. And my friend Abba actually, he tried to complain to his landlord and ask for a rent abatement
Mm-hmm.
because there's something in leases called, I think it's called like the warranty of habitability, or
You have to be able to live your.
you have to be able to live a life, and all that really means is like heat has to work in the winter, water needs to be available,
Hot water.
yeah, you have to have like shelter, some really basic stuff, and without water, that seems like it's a violation. But he sent this in, he asked for it, and then I asked him how it went, and he was like, man, the landlord, like they had an immediate answer, didn't budge. Apparently it's right in the lease that if they do construction or something that's out of the control of the building,
Right.
they're not
They
going to be
can't.
held to it.
I mean, dude, tough for everybody.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, dude, I'm glad you brought this up because I have a significant apartment moment today. We have our interview for the building.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And so I will be wearing a shirt and tie.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're going to wear a shirt and a tie?
The broker recommended it.
What the fuck is this place, man?
I don't know, but fucking, you know.
Where are you moving?
The building's nice.
Fine.
But she said she was just like no t-shirts. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna wear. She's like, wear a button down. And like, I don't even really have like, dude, I haven't dressed like this in so long for real.
Me neither.
Like, I occasionally have to wear a shirt and tie for a commercial audition, but I'm literally like in my underwear and below the waist, you know, like, so this would be the first time I wore a shirt and tie for real in a long time. But dude, imagine if I just showed up to this fucking interview as Lil Young Big.
Grill, face tattoo.
Like, would they just deny us? Is that even legal? What's that, y'all? Like, they're like, oh, denied.
You suggested that I go do the interview for you,
I know.
which immediately made me think of that scene from The Office where Andy and Pam go on the sales call together,
I don't really watch the
and
Office.
she's pregnant, and he starts like rubbing her belly and being like, "Yep, we're excited," and they're not married. She's with Jim. I don't know why I keep telling you this story, but I was thinking like, all right, if you had me go as a prank on this interview with Hillary, like what level of affection would we be expected to display? Would you just give me carte blanche
You start
to
making
make out
with
with your girlfriend? Like, is that what, you know?
Like, I guess, I don't know. Dude, the idea of you doing my interview is pretty funny. I really think that you would do a really good job.
Yeah, I play
I should've sent you in there.
the proper white guy pretty well.
You do. You really do. Dude, I'm just really wondering how, if there's any room for that to just not go well. It seems like such a formality. Like, what, you know, like, how long is it going to take? 10 minutes?
It does seem like a ridiculous
Did you have to
formality.
do it for this?
Well, we didn't have to do an interview, but the application itself was somewhat. It was so many pages. There were
Yeah,
so many
us
things we
too.
needed,
It was crazy.
and
Ours
it was
like
the first
100
time
pages.
that had happened.
Yeah.
And I've lived in 6 different apartments in New York. I think it's when you start getting into these bigger
Yeah.
buildings that have doormen
And we are both, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are both renting from people who own apartments and buildings.
That's right.
And that must be why this is such a process.
Yep. I think so.
It's just crazy, man. It makes you think like there are all these laws to try to prevent people from sort of discriminating against people in buildings. But you just have to imagine that discrimination is still happening. It's just a difficult thing to prove.
Of course it is.
You know?
What is zoning and stuff like that?
Right.
Racial zoning. That's a huge
Totally.
thing that people talk about. I'm not even using the right terms, but
Redlining.
redlining. That's what it is.
Yeah.
What is redlining?
Redlining, I think, is when you are trying to like set up a situation where you're not allowing kind of like diversity of whatever kind in your neighborhood.
Wow.
So for example, if you're a person of color and you try to buy a house in the neighborhood, they don't let you buy it and act like it's for another reason. I believe that's what it is. Chris, is that right? That's right. Yeah. So dude, like, it's just fucked up. You know what I mean? And Hillary and I were saying this. We're like, what if we were people of color? Like, what would this process look like? And it's just like fucked up. It's fucked up to think about.
Interesting.
You know?
Hmm.
I don't know. Whatever.
Damn. Well, I wish you best of luck.
Thank you, man.
Man,
I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I'm sure it's just another formality you have to clear, but that is annoying as hell.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Dude, somebody emailed us this at some point, and I think that this is a good time to approach this question. Now that I'm going to be having my own spot, whatever. She said, "Can you guys talk about the do's and don'ts of being a good host?" And I feel like you are the perfect person
sure.
to answer this question.
Great. Love this. Love this. All right. So I'll walk you through what I do when we have people over.
Okay.
First and foremost, people come in and I ask to take their coats. I say, let me take your coat for you. And then I hang it up instead of just throwing their coat
On the bed.
over the arm of a couch or some bullshit like that, right? And that's a really nice way to be welcomed, to be taken out of your coat. It's like a reverse embrace. It's the opposite, but it's equally nice. It's a reverse embrace. You're being disrobed.
Yeah.
You're being made more comfortable. If you're indoors and you're still wearing your big winter coat, that's not that fun.
Not good.
You're going to get warm quickly. You're going to start feeling that prickly skin feeling where your sweat glands are opening, but you're not sweating yet. So
good.
I take people's coats, right? That's the first thing I do. The next thing I do is I say, let me get you a drink. Got to offer a drink. And you give people sort of a range of what all the options. Would you like a beer, glass of wine to start, cocktail, margarita, right? Now, knowing how to make a good drink is a skill that I would put just below being able to cook really well, as
Interesting.
making your home a place that people want to come visit and hang out. If people know that when they come over, they're going to be served bar level mixed drinks, they want to come over.
Totally. Can I tell you what I do to my boys though? If they come over in that situation, I will always make my guy friend a drink that's way too strong on purpose.
And it's not tasty at all. Like it's
No, they just go,
poison.
Oh, dude.
Just fucking nuke them.
I don't think I'll do that to you. I don't think you would find it.
I
as
wouldn't
funny.
necessarily mind, but I also think you have a different speed at which you like your mixed drinks.
Well, that me making somebody a strong drink is not necessarily a reflection of that. But you're right.
Yeah, you want to get to the point where your drink isn't weird anymore. as quickly as possible.
That is not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That is not what I'm doing.
Get on my level.
That
Ice
is
cube
funny.
and tequila.
That
One
is
ice
really
cube.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
So I make people, you get people a drink. And then once people have a drink and they're sitting down, all of a sudden they're much more comfortable. Now, here's something I missed recently that I felt bad about that I won't miss again. People need something to nibble on. They do. The charcuterie board has become so in vogue in COVID. I know our buddy Jared
Freed's into the charcuterie.
is a huge charcuterie board aficionado. He does
Love
a big
it.
thing on that. It's great. But especially when people are drinking, like we had the Girls Gotta Eat girls over to hang out, and I didn't set out anything for them to eat. Kind of because they came at like 5:30, so I just assumed that everyone would leave
Right.
by dinner. But we were having such a nice time that everyone stayed until like 9 o'clock. And by 7:30, 8, everyone was starving.
Right. And I was there for this. They actually were like, do you have anything to eat?
Ashley asked.
And you were
she-
like, fuck.
I know. And she asked it in a very polite way. And I
Totally.
felt horrible. Unfortunately, my girlfriend was around to, set up one of these geometrically
It
fucking
was-
perfect,
it was
weird,
impressive.
like the grapes are in the noses of the smiley face of cheese
It was impressive.
nonsense that you're creating.
It was a good looking board.
Yeah, good looking board. So you got to have something for people to nibble on, and then it comes down to conversation, and I think that this is where things can really go bad or go well, because it's funny. We've been hanging out so much with this couple, and everyone's smart and engaged. So we're not afraid to roll up our sleeves and talk about difficult social issues or politics or any of this stuff. And it's not as if everyone is of one mindset.
Mhm.
There are varying points of view and varying, intensities with which people feel things.
Mhm.
But the problem with that, and I especially find this with men, and I especially find it, unfortunately, with my group of male friends, but we have a tendency to dominate conversations and to just compete with each other by raising the volume at which we speak. And it's as if he who speaks loudest gets the floor. And you watch, if you're attentive, as sometimes the women will recede and just kind of close off and realize, like, I can't possibly get in a word edgewise. And then they're unhappy. And it's
no fun.
Sucks, man. It's
no fun.
disrespectful. It's like not fair. It's bullshit.
Not fun.
And guys will say, well, why don't you just speak up, you know, really elbow your way in? And it's like, well, it shouldn't have to be.
Who wants to do that?
You shouldn't have
Saturday
to sweat.
afternoon.
Yeah, just to fucking talk.
Totally.
So unfortunately, I've been guilty of it, but I've been trying to become a little bit more aware of it.
Awareness is the first step, baby.
How do you, you know, and by the way, the easiest way to fight that is to just, while the things are getting ratcheted up, just take a fucking second and turn to someone and ask them a question.
Totally.
Ask them a question that's specific to them, because people aren't probably going to interrupt when someone's telling you how their work is going or like, you know, what they're up to lately.
Yeah, totally. I think that there's a good way to, like, if you're the type of person who tends to, like, want to try to dominate the conversation or to try to share what you know, there's value into sort of like adjusting your mindset to what can I learn from people as opposed to what can I tell these people? You know what I mean? Because you get more from learning more shit. So there is value to kind of like letting somebody else go off, hearing what they have to say. Granted, if you're hanging out with them all the time, it's not always a great thing. But I think that anytime where I feel like maybe I'm talking too much or whatever, I try, like you said, to ask questions or like see what they got for me, you know, because people have stuff. Everybody has something interesting to talk about.
That's true.
Usually.
But another thing I notice is that, especially after people have had a few drinks and the night is wearing on, facts start to get blurry. And people reach into their bag and pull out
Their bag of statistics.
pieces of support that may or may not have been invented.
Google it.
There's a lot of
Google it, bro.
There's a lot of supposed facts or like things where people are like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, or you know, you lose the accuracy of the conversation.
Yes, and fact checking somebody doesn't feel good.
Yeah, you lose the accuracy of the conversation, and yet that doesn't mean that people's convictions are any less.
Right.
The more people have had to drink, the stronger their convictions are, and the less they care about basically saying something that might not even be fucking true. So when you talk about learning from people, you got to be careful that you don't come out of this conversation and then regurgitate things you learned that night, which if you run into someone who really knows what the fuck they're talking about, they might just be like, that's patently false.
True, totally. But I didn't mean it that way. But that's
no, but I'm just saying that's something I've noticed.
No, dude, absolutely. And I find that I definitely know people who, especially I don't know if this is a thing in comedy, because so much great comedy is sort of taking that thing that we all think is true and analyzing it and finding sort of the other side of that. You know, that is like a lot of what great comedy is, like finding whatever contrast in politics, whatever kind of shit. And I see comics trying to make these controversial points that are like have no substance whatsoever, and they're just sort of like trying it out. And I find that to be exhausting.
Well, you know that a lot of comedians are really stupid, right? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and I think that part of that is about, you know, this willingness to be outspoken about things that they don't know anything about.
They're given a microphone and a stage without having to earn it whatsoever.
Right. At least
you
not
earn better stages, but you're starting out with a microphone.
And it doesn't necessarily, like, the impulse that translates to life is an incorrect one. That now you have the agency to speak over everybody, and that you know more than people is incorrect.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And in what other comes with the territory?
In what other job do you know that at the base level you're handed a microphone and a group of people to address?
Yeah, it's not
auctioneer.
Right.
I would even think auctioneers need to earn the microphone. You know what we should do? We should go to a cattle auction at some time.
I've been one time.
That seems fun.
It's crazy. We should do it.
That seems fun.
That would be really fun.
I would like to see if I have a sense of what cattle are
You can
worth.
bust out the cowboy hat.
Yes.
Finally.
So I'm going to Jackson Hole tomorrow.
Sweet.
And I got to tell you, we've talked about this before on the podcast. There is a cowboy hat store in Jackson Hole. And I went there, I don't know, must have been 8 years ago. And I had my hat picked out. I had tried on a whole bunch. I had these 2 people who worked there buttering me up. And I had it on the counter. And I don't know what it was, but I walked away. And I didn't purchase it.
You did not buy it.
I didn't purchase it. At the last second, I just changed my mind. I don't know if I had this clairvoyant moment where I was like, there's no chance I'm ever going to fucking wear this thing. What am I doing? Right. And that was true. I remember coming home being like, fuck, I would never have worn this hat. Right. But I haven't stopped thinking about that hat.
Francis versus Cowboy Hat 2 on pay-per-view, baby.
And I'm going back. I would say the odds of me not purchasing the hat this time, 0. There is no way I'm not. And one of the reasons is we are doing on Saturday night. So, it's this bachelor party, fucking 18 guys going. Fortunately, the vast majority of them have had COVID. Okay. I think like 15 of the 18 have had it. So it's a really good number, which, makes you just feel a little bit safe or whatever. But we're in 2 separate houses and we're going to be skiing all day. So, anyway, the point is, one of the nights we're going to do a cowboy casino night where we set up poker tables and maybe someone plays as the house for blackjack. I don't know, whatever. We'll figure it out.
It's fun.
And one of the guys is ordered a bunch of probably pretty shitty, gimmicky, flimsy cowboy hats for everyone to wear.
You're going to have yours real hide.
So I'm going to be wearing a hat that an animal gave its life for.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to look like a real cowboy, and I'm going to be the envy of all the bachelors.
Is any piece of you excited for the fucking Graham shot you're going to get with the Grand Tetons in the background?
With my hat on?
With your hat on, piece of straw in your mouth?
This is a great point. I don't know that I have the right to post something like that on my Instagram.
Why?
Because my Instagram is not serious.
But dude, you think you in a cowboy hat in front of the Grand Tetons is serious, pal? Hate to break it to you. That is not serious.
It's a good point. It's a good point, and it's a fair point. But I don't even know at this point if I would post a picture of me with like friends.
But you can just be by yourself. And you need to be wearing whitewash jeans as well and boots if you have them.
Damn.
And it'll be a really great photo.
I
understand the not wanting to post the friends stuff, I guess. Part of me wants to just be like, fuck off to everybody, but then part of me is like, okay, well, I guess that's being considerate. I should try to be an all right dude.
Wait, what do you mean?
As far as the like posting with friends thing.
We shouldn't care. The reality is I should have 2 Instagrams. One for being a nice person and posting my family and friends and girlfriend that is private and I let select people follow.
Right.
And then the
That's
other
true.
is for the stuff that I'm hoping brands will endorse.
Correct.
And I have to care about my engagement and making sure that I'm growing and posting funny shit. People know what to expect when they come to my page.
Totally. Crazy, bro. Bachelor party is such an interesting thing. Here's a question. This is a little abstract and maybe a shot in the dark, but how often, percentage-wise, do you think that 2 of the guys at a bachelor party secretly bang each other?
Each other?
What's the percentage of times that happens? Is it lower than 1%?
Gosh, that is
secretly bang each other.
You mean while they're at the bachelor party?
Yes, they have sex. 2 of the guys at the bachelor party have sex with each other, and no, don't tell anyone.
Boy, that's a great question.
Is that happening more than we think?
My instinct is that it happens more often than you'd think.
Yeah. Because fucking
bachelor parties, there's
around.
an underlying sort of agreement of we're never talking about what happened on this trip again. That's kind of the running tagline for bachelor parties. Totally. This is the last hurrah. The last time where it's acceptable I hate this, and I don't subscribe to this whatsoever. But like the last time that it's acceptable for the groom to have a stripper or like a hooker or whatever, you know,
that's a good question. Well, let's finish this, and then we'll move on to that.
my friends don't do any of that shit, but I know people do.
Yeah, no, same.
It's strip clubs and bachelor parties are, for some reason, married at the hip.
The strip club seems like a milder form of it. Like
Fine.
I don't think there's any reason that a married person in theory can't on an occasion go to a strip club in my mind. Like,
all right, I'm talking about you hire strippers to come to the house
and you have like sex with them.
And those girls often, it's not that much of a
pay for extras.
Yeah, there's right.
And is there a conversation where like you're allowed to have sex with strippers tonight if that's available? But then after that, you're done. Is that like actually a conversation that people have? Because I personally don't directly know anybody that that's the case with. I know people who have done shit like that, and a friend told me, and I don't know what their arrangement was with their eventual wife. And
are you asking if the girlfriend or the wife would be okay with it?
Yeah, dude,
I don't think so.
But then why does the guy feel like he has the right to do it? It's just
because
like a don't
guys
ask, don't tell.
Pieces of shit.
Don't ask, don't tell policy.
That's why.
Yeah.
They think like it doesn't count until you're married, you know? This is the last chance before it really counts. As soon as I'm married, all of a sudden I'm going to change my ways.
Right. Which I imagine doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay, well, back to the question of guy number 7 and guy number 9 banging each other on the low in the fucking You're right. That's got to be happening.
I bet you it does. Guys are splitting a hotel room. They're in Vegas. Everyone's fucked up.
What happens if Vegas stays in Vegas? You wake up, your boy's blowing you. You're
there you go.
All right, sweet. I guess.
Let me ask you something. Let's say you're on a bachelor party with 10 of your best buddies.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Vegas, having a great time, getting super fucked up, right? Fuck yeah. Maybe you're in a hotel room with one of your buddies, someone you've known a long time, right? But he's a handsome guy. And you guys are chilling, super fucked up, and he tries to hook up with you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I'd be like, dude, you're wasted. I'd literally be like, dude, bro, you literally just tried to make out with me.
Would it stick with you? Would it affect the way that you saw him?
No.
You would just immediately write it off as like, it's fucked up, no big deal.
It would be hard to not tell my friends, but it wouldn't bother me. No, I wouldn't be bothered.
No, yeah.
Like I would have, you know what I mean though?
How much would it affect your friendship?
Minimally.
That's impressive.
I'd be like, dude, you tried to make out with me. Like that was like, remember that? And hopefully he'd be like,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what if he tried to like grab your dick?
Well, did he try to make out with me and then he tried to grab my dick after trying to make out with me?
I don't know. Is there something he could do where you would be like, I don't know that I can see this person anymore?
Maybe if they were like jerking off over my face while I was sleeping or something.
Oh, God.
I'm just trying to think like that would be a thing that would like potentially negatively affect the friendship.
It's impressive.
What about you?
Yeah, listen, here's the thing. I wouldn't want them to feel embarrassed or ashamed, and I would want to make sure they knew that I was
you didn't care
totally a supporter of them and in their corner, and that I didn't care that if that was indicative of something they'd been hiding that we didn't know about or whatever, I would want to be supportive and whatnot, but. I guess it would have to be a question of like, are you attracted to me or are you attracted to men?
Right.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, but also like
meaning like, do you have feelings for me? Because if we're friends and then I find out that you've had a crush on me or you've been in love with me or had feelings, then I feel the same way that I would about finding out that a woman that I thought was a friend has really strong feelings for me.
That situation seems far-fetched to me. Like that seems
well,
no, I know, but I'm saying like it seems like a younger, like that seems like the high school friend. He's like, oh, he was in love with me the whole time. Like I don't see that playing out as much in adulthood. Like a person is not only closeted but also obsessed with you.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like a lot of things. But I could see how that would be negatively impactful, of course.
So, in your mind, this bachelor party situation plays out more as just a drunken, potentially acting on impulse, one night stand kind of thing, and then it's under the rug again.
One person is maybe more into it than the other. Maybe one person's experimented more and the other maybe hasn't, or like maybe they both have, or maybe one of the guys is already living his life that way and the other isn't. Like, I'm sure there's like different scenarios, but I wonder to what degree if that's happening.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. If you are planning to try to pull a fast one on one of your boys during a bachelor party, there's no better way to do it than a pair of goddamn bird dogs pants.
That's right. You know, if you're trying to experiment in a room at the Bellagio and you see your buddy wearing his bird dogs, you better take them right off.
Yeah, the Bellagio for some Fellagio, baby. I mean, listen, they're a very presentable pant. You're going to go out looking your best. And when the time comes to take those puppies off, the silk lining is attached to the pant. You don't have to wear underwear. You get right to it. None of this bullshit. Fucking ready to go. Commando, action-packed situation.
Yeah, and you know what they say, you know, it never hurts to bring in another, and if you're going to go hook up with a dude for the first time, you might as well add another person to the party. You know what I'm saying? Make it a triangle offense, because
Definitely.
you know what they say, Giulio?
What do they say?
If you're in your bird dogs, you might as well invite a third hog. Third hogs? It's close. It's close enough. Third hogs for the bird dogs. Bird dogs, boys.
Bird dogs, bring on the third hog.
I'm wearing my bird dogs right now and love them. You know, I'm ready to hook up with a dude. In these puppies, if the right man came along.
Well, we'll see, man. Tomorrow you're going. So
Hell yeah.
fucking,
Hell yeah.
Go right now on the website, birddogs.com, promo code OOPS. You will get a free pair of nunchucks just in case when your friend comes on to you, if you weren't into it and he continues to be persistent, you can pull out your nunchucks and fend him off.
Yeah. By the way, bird dogs are pants and shorts. I don't know if we mentioned that. Sometimes we get away from what they actually are. They're great pants and shorts. You should get some for the man in your life.
They're wonderful. Go grab a pair today. Dude, did I ever tell you about this? I was in Vegas with Danny Palmer. Did I tell this story? And he's like, dude, these hot chicks, dude. Do you know Danny Palmer?
Yeah, a little bit.
Danny Palmer's this comedian. He's like 10 years older than our like group of boys. And he's a comedian and he's like pretty funny. He's just like our random older friend. He comes to Vegas when I was performing. I was doing like 10 days of shows in Vegas, which was too many.
Wow.
But Danny comes and he's like, dude, these hot chicks are coming to be my wingman. I'm like, okay, man. And like these chicks show up and they're like not hot at all. Did I tell the story?
I think I remember this, but refresh us.
Okay.
Refresh
Well,
us.
anyway, so neither of these women spoke English. They were also like old. They were like in their 50s. One of them, dude, and it was crazy. And Danny and his girl like disappeared from the casino floor, and I'm with my girl, who is a woman who literally may have been a grandmother. And I go, where did Danny go? And your friend? And she goes, yes. Didn't speak the language at all, dude. Just fully. And then later that night, Danny brings his girl back up there and they're hooking up and I'm in the other bed and I can hear them. And I just hear like, she keeps going, why you don't have a condom? And Danny goes, dude, why are you talking like that? I was like, this is
Said that to the woman?
Yes. Why are you saying it like that, dude? I was like, dude, oh God.
Wait. Were you with your lady?
She was in the room.
I don't think we've ever gotten that little nugget of the story.
She may have been in the room. I was being a good pal.
Yeah.
It wasn't going as far as those two, but it was
okay.
It was a wild night. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
that is fun. The
Yeah.
last time,
Oh,
because
God.
I'm going to Jackson Hole this weekend, and then in 2 weeks I'm going to Vegas for Bachelor Party.
Oh, hell
right?
yeah.
So we've talked about this. The last time I was in Vegas, I'm going with my neighbor who lives down the street. By the way, it's his bachelor party.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the guy, yeah, who by the
For
way,
Vegas.
yeah, he is obsessed with gambling.
Before you continue, is there any overlap in the two bachelor parties?
There will probably be one or two guys that are at both.
Okay.
I'm not certain though.
Okay.
The two groups, there is a lot of mutual friendship.
Okay.
But I think maybe something to do with the fact that it's a ski trip and a Vegas gambling trip has self-selected the groups a little.
Got it.
You know, there may have been cross invites, but the people who like skiing don't necessarily like gambling and vice versa.
Got it. Beautiful.
Be it as it may, my buddy who just loves gambling, the last time I was with him, you know, first of all, it was years and years ago. And I was splitting a hotel room with two of my buddies. The guy whose bachelor party it is, and my other buddy who's incredibly successful that I've talked about before. And so we're in this hotel room, and these guys gamble in a way that, like, I mean, it's hard to describe. First of all, their rule of thumb is like they don't want to be putting big bets down at the blackjack table until they're blacked out.
Oh, wow. Because it's more fun?
They trust themselves to make more money when they're blacked out.
It's the only time I've made a lot of money playing blackjack.
That's what they say. And like, first of all,
It's the
I don't
only
black
time.
out. So I'm wondering if I'm just not capable of entering the realm of profitability in Las Vegas.
Dude, it's true. The only time I've woken up and looked at my wallet to a stack of cash playing blackjack wasted.
It's so infuriating because what'll happen is if I tried to do that, I just end up throwing up all over the table. And that's definitely not going to make me money.
Are you guys going to do the bank card handoff?
No. These people, dude, nobody has a limit on this trip. In
That's
fact,
crazy.
I've already picked out which of my old Jordans I have to take into New York City to sell in order to get the cash
Really?
to go to Vegas with.
Do you feel comfortable sharing your rough limit of what you plan to lose?
I think my idea is that I would be willing to lose $2,000 on this trip.
Wow. Dude, that seems fair.
I would be bummed if I did, but I'm looking at the trip as costing me like $2,000.
Right.
And so if I lose less, I'll be happy.
Right.
God forbid. I certainly know I'm not going to make money.
Right.
I've never made money at a casino.
Yeah.
Ever. Especially when you go for multiple days.
So when I went to Vegas for that 10-day stretch, I barely broke even with my earnings because
How many times did you play? How many times did you gamble?
Every day.
Jesus. I mean, that's impressive.
So it was my first time in Vegas, and I wasn't losing big amount. You know, I wasn't making that much money for this gig. I probably made $1,200 or something, which is like not a lot. And I probably lost $600 gambling. But it was the first time I've been in Vegas. I felt okay about it.
So you,
but still,
yeah. So the last time we went, right? We were all in this hotel room, and my very successful friend, they were at the blackjack tables from like, we would go to a nightclub until 3 a.m, 3:30 or something, and then they would go to the blackjack tables from 3:30 until 9 a.m.
That's fucking crazy.
And I would be back up in the room asleep, and they would come in, and there was no telling what mood they would be in.
Losing when you've been up all night, is there a worse thing in the world?
No.
It's terrible.
But what happened was one day we went to the pool, the Encore Beach pool party.
Sick.
And we had like a cabana and all this shit. And we got super fucked up during the day, came back to the hotel room. It must have been like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. On the way, my buddy whose bachelor party it is stopped at the blackjack table and lost like $2,000 quickly. So my other buddy and I went back up to the room and like took a nap. And when my buddy Dave came in, he was so angry from losing this money. By the time he came in, he like woke us up and was furious. And we were trying to get him to calm down, and he was just pissed off. And we ordered room service. And when room service arrived, we had ordered this plate of lo mein. He was still so mad that he picked up the plate of lo mein and threw it across the room, and it landed against the window, and the noodles from the lo mein plate sort of stuck to the window and then sadly snaked their way down.
He's lucky he didn't break the window.
I know.
And also, that was your lo mein. Were you guys pissed at him?
I was, but we had ordered so much room service that it didn't matter. But my other buddy was really mad because he was sort of coming after him because my other buddy had won a bunch of money. So like by contrast, it made my other friend mad. But then I like went down, gambled for a little bit, and then left them at midnight and went back to bed. They again stayed until like 6 or 5 in the morning. At 5 in the morning, they came in. Dude, they were screaming with joy. My friend Doug had won $45,000 playing blackjack.
What?
And my friend Dave was now up $6,000 after having lost 2 that afternoon.
He won $45,000.
He
How?
won
Was
so
he doing
much
side bets?
He won so much money that he had to fill out tax forms.
Holy fuck.
And then he was like, all right, fuck this. And he went to a different window with like smaller amounts of chips, exchanged that for cash, and then went to the shopping row and bought his girlfriend at the time like 3 $1,600 handbags.
Oh my God.
Just to try to like
Lucky girl.
launder his money home.
Right.
And
You can just pay with chips, right?
I think so.
I think you can. That's
So here's how
Yeah.
he won so much money. So they get blackout drunk, right? And he starts increasing his bet size. Now, starting out, I mean, his bet size was like whatever, $200 a hand. So it was already pretty steep. But he gets up to like $500 a hand, right? And then he's playing like 2 hands. And then a hand comes where, he splits aces or something, and then double
down,
and then splits whatever. Maybe you can't double on aces, but like, he's got like 4 or 5 grand on the table, and the dealer busts.
Oh my
and
God.
all of a sudden you're just like,
oh my God.
then you're just like up from that one hand when you're playing at that size.
Dude, that's crazy. You know, it's a fun thing. Do you know how to play craps?
Very, very poorly. I don't have a grasp of all of the rules. I have a very skeletal understanding of it.
So I don't know how to play. But when I was in Georgia over New Year's or whatever, this guy Phil, who's dating a friend of mine, I guess he's my friend now too. He said that if you go during the day when it's not busy and you just ask the person who's running the table to teach you, they'll teach you craps.
That's cool.
That's like a fun.
That
I feel
would
like
be cool.
Knowing craps is like an attractive thing. I feel like a guy who knows how to play craps, like if I was a girl, I'd be like, ooh. That's
Yeah.
like I said, driving a stick shift, rolling a joint, playing craps.
Hell yeah.
Hot shit guys do it.
So yeah, dude, I'm excited about Vegas,
Vegas is
and
great.
excited about Jackson Hole, where I'll bring my plover robe for sure.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, that's
the
where
word
they were
originated.
conceived.
Yeah,
Love it, dude. All right, why don't we do one email here?
Hit
before
me.
we,
hit me.
This one's called Seeking Revenge on an Ex.
Oh,
Hey guys, I want to hear your thoughts on this. My current girlfriend, parentheses, we've been dating for 2.5 years, casually mentioned to me that she once snuck to the bathroom while at her ex's place and swirled his toothbrush around in the toilet and never told him. He was potentially cheating and overall just a shitty dude. But needless to say, this set off some alarm bells in my head. Do I need to store my toothbrush in a 12-digit lockbox? Why does my mouth taste like butthole? I knew I should have gotten her flowers for Valentine's Day. Anyway, aside from this incident, she's a lovely, sweet girl, and I truly love her with all my heart. Personally, I'm not one to hold grudges or seek revenge, so the whole thing just doesn't make much sense to me. So guys, here's my question. Is it ever necessary to get revenge on an ex? And if so, how far is too far?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I don't think so. I remember when I was younger, that song came out that went, I scratched the windows of his car.
Oh yeah.
Or like it's a song of a woman keying the ex-boyfriend's car.
It was a country song, right?
No.
There's that one too.
The one about keying the car. It was a really big hit for a while.
Was it ladies, if your man wanna get buck wild, just
Go
run
and hit him up style.
Was that one?
Isn't that TLC or is that
No.
Destiny's Child?
No, that's like Blue Cantrell. That's like a random spend it on a dun dun dun. That's the country song.
That's not what
No.
I was thinking.
Carrie Underwood. Keyed his car.
Something about keying his car. People are going to tell us for sure. I get DMs whenever I can't think of anything on the thing on the podcast.
Thank you, everybody.
But there was a song about that. When I remember hearing it when I was a kid and thinking, my God, keying someone's car, is that the right tit for tat for someone cheating? Is that how adults act?
Yeah, dude, totally. I really think.
Yeah, I dug my key into the side of his 45.
Four-wheel drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems so insane to
Yeah.
me.
I think that there's a way to get revenge without being negative. The best, so like going and getting revenge, it's not a good idea. Move on. It's over. Move on to the next thing. By sitting there and sort of stewing in negativity, you're not doing yourself any good. If you want to get revenge on your ex, just be awesome. Live your life awesomely.
Yeah.
You know, like show her, and you can use it as motivation. If
Post a bunch of thirst traps.
like if you've been trying to get in shape and like you finally do it after the breakup or things are going really well for you, like, you know, fucking go. She'll notice that you're living your best life, and that is the sweetest revenge.
Right. People, when they break up with you, if you just turn into a vengeful, crazy, unhinged, groveling person, that validates their decision
Exactly.
to break up with you.
Absolutely.
They will say, boy, thank God I got out of this when I did. You know, this person clearly was crazy and this was wrong.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you just keep your life together and try to get over it or hide some of your feelings, perfectly fine to share them with friends or a therapist or whatever. But, you know, move forward and look happy and start dating again. I guarantee you that person who broke up with you is going to say, like, boy, did I make a mistake?
Did I fuck up? Absolutely.
You know, look at how well they're doing. Like, did I not value them as much as I should have? And that will be the revenge that makes you feel the best, is when he hits you back up or she hits you back up, being like, hey, miss you. What are you up to?
Totally. And by that time, you're not even going to care anymore.
Yeah.
Which is also going to be sweet. And at that point, you'll be the one doing the charity by talking to them and stuff. So
Yeah. Damn.
go live your best life, dude.
Revenge, man. It's so weird.
Yeah. It's never worth it.
Mm.
Whatever. All right. Well, oops, the podcast, guys. Thank you for listening. We're having a good time. It's good
Sure
shit.
are.
We hope, these last couple weeks of winter, if you're in the cold, are tolerable. And hopefully, we have a nice summer ahead of us and some nice warm months. So hit us up, Oops the Podcast. Let us know your stories, whatever you want to share with us. We'd love to hear it. Questions, all that. Oops the Podcast on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on TikTok at Oops the Podcast. And am I forgetting anything?
No.
YouTube. And that's it.
That's it. Thank you.
If you like this video, we have a bunch more. Just like and subscribe to our channel, and you can get all the videos you want.
Oops.